Hey everybody, yes, I'm back. As y'all see, I got on one of these Dr. Spots on, or whatever they call it. I wanted to talk about, something that they talk about in the AA textbook, and that's the reason why I have on this doctor thing and stuff. I wanted to talk about a section on page 31 of Alcoholics Anonymous textbook that, it has something in there about physicians who are familiar with alcoholism agree there's no such thing as making a normal drinker out of an alcoholic. Science may one day accomplish this, but they hasn't done so yet. And that's what we read in every meeting. Every meeting. We even have resources and stuff on all the tables that you can take to your physician about alcoholism. Because in this chapter, it like it said what I just said, they are familiar that there's no such thing as making a normal drinker, a crackaholic or an addict or whatever, or anybody that's addicted to something into a normal drinker. So, an alcoholic into a normal drinker, ain't that something? So, that's why I put that thumbnail in there where you can see that, a few days back on NBC News and the other news stations, they had a reel of where, they can put like a pacemaker in you. Put these two little tubes that look scrub-like, like a little film, right in your brain to ease the reflex of, for even bringing about that obsession of the mind for that next hit drink and, whatever you're addicted to. And I also wanted to show y'all this. See, this is something that they sent in the mail. I don't know if y'all can see it good. It's right here. And it has something like, keep your brain mentally fit. You hear with your ears, you understand with your brain. See, and that's just a little ad that they had there for, I guess a hearing aid or something like that. But I was tripping off of when I read this. Keep your brain mentally fit. You hear with your ears, you understand with your brain. So imagine that they ran that on the news and you got a whole lot of addicts and alcoholics out there. And then, some of them is like you do, with that trial that they did 2 or 3 of them, see. And like I read in that sentences, that physicians are familiar that there's no way they can make someone be like a normal drinker, smoker, overeater, or whatever the case may be, or shopper into a normal, at a balance of normalcy. So, and it goes back to saying with the obsession of the mind, if that was real possible for me to do something like that, like in those other videos I had earlier, explaining about the physical malady, and now we're talking about the mental obsession, which has a deep stem in the malady also. Because this obsession of the mind, like it say you hear with your ears. So I've been in 4 treatment centers. So those first 3 times, if it was all to do to me hearing with my ears and understanding with my mind, I would have been sober a long time ago. It wouldn't have took like, an 8-year run, 2 programs before the 8-year run. It wouldn't took like, going in and out 12 years or 13 years. I would have just went to the first meeting, fellowshipping, and I would have heard everything. I said, yeah, that's what's going on with me. But what has happened, is that we got this other saying, once you've been pickled, you can no longer go back to being a cucumber. See, And that's what happens normally to like the crackaholic or the alcoholic of my type. That, you know, I have an obsession of the mind, and this obsession of the mind always have a riding thought that somehow, someday I'm going to be able to control and enjoy my drinking. See, so when I seen that thing right on the news, and I'm going to give y'all a little snippet of what that is, and I'm going to put it at the bottom of this video. I'm going to allow y'all to hear some of it, the progress. Let me put this on silent.
Brain surgery could revolutionize the way doctors treat severe substance abuse. It's already changed everything for 35-year-old Jared Buckhalter. Do you think this device saved your life?
I believe it did.
2 years ago, Jared was the first person in the U.S. ever to have
Do y'all hear
electrodes
that?
implanted to stimulate his brain in the hopes of lessening his desire for drugs. A star wide receiver in high school in a small town in Pennsylvania, he was being recruited to play in college. But when that didn't happen, his life took a turn.
I felt that I'd let everybody down, and, you know, that just really put me in a bad spot mentally. And
Mentally, it's like some depression or something went on.
To use to cope with that was pain pills.
For years, he spiraled downward.
I
Opioid.
had resolved to the fact that he was going to die. He was going to crash a car or OD or something, but something was going to happen.
You drove a lot of people away, right?
Mm.
Family, friends.
A lot. Got to the point where I literally had nobody, you know.
When his therapist suggested the experimental surgery,
See, he had a
was scared.
therapist.
But
So
after
he
meeting
went
with
to
Dr. Ali
depression.
Rezai, he agreed to be the very first. Rezai implanted a kind of brain pacemaker in his chest to send electrical impulses to the reward center deep in his brain.
Our goal is to increase your dopamine slowly using deep brain
See, there go
stimulation
that.
so that you don't need to seek drugs to chase after that dopamine.
The electrodes also stimulate the frontal lobe, hoping to encourage better decision making.
It has to be within a millimeter, right?
We watched in July as they operated on their third patient, James Fisher.
See, they had
They
a third
woke him
patient.
to test the device.
What do you feel? Any change?
Now he's the third, but the second patient, right in this video, relapse. So, you know, this is the MC Recovery Steps in Relapse show. This is the third person. And they compound it. So that's why I said that at the beginning, that, you know, read that caption on page 31 from the textbook of Alcoholics Anonymous. That, you know, science one day may accomplish this, but they haven't done so yet. So, you know, they have severe cases. So, you know, even back then, just imagine if science would have had something for me. Imagine